Welcome back to Sacramento Smooth Jazz. As I promised you, I'm sitting down talking with the talented members of the Smooth Jazz Alley. This group has been entertaining audiences with their smooth and soulful sound for years, and I'm excited and thrilled to have the opportunity to learn more about their journey, their music, and their current project. So I want you to sit back, relax, and tune in as we get to know Marco Montoya, Otoe Mori, and Kevin Lewis, and together they are the Smooth Jazz Alley. Thank you for joining me. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Good.
Hey, everybody.
You know, it's been a while since you've been on the show, and I've been thrilled to know what's happening behind the scenes, but I'm also excited that you're going to tell the people what's happening, what we're sharing today. So what's going on? What's exciting? What's new?
We've got a new EP dropping on all digital platforms. Got 6 tracks on it, and we've been super busy at work trying to get that wrapped up, and just glad that it's finally here. You know, as with our last album, we've got some amazing guest artists appearing on this EP. I'll let Kevin talk a little bit about that because he does a lot of the legwork on that.
Well, we do have some amazing artists, and I want to start with my sister, Otoe. Amazing sax. She is just blended just well. Can't wait for you guys to hear the next cut, which is coming out. We got Chris Camazzi.
Well, we had Blake Aaron, as you know, with the last single that went to radio.
That's right. And we have Nathan East as well. Nathan East is on a track called Whatever You Like from Foreplay, and Nathan East himself. And we're just moving on. We have Matt Godina as usual behind the scenes. We're doing a lot.
Over the last, 8 months or so, we've been in constant communication here and there. And every time I'm talking to you guys, you know, we're just catching up. It's like you guys are in the studio, just came out the studio doing something with this one track. And it's like you guys have been working really hard over the last, I would say last year. Your current track right now, which is doing very well, Deep Into You, featuring Blake Aaron on guitar, is phenomenal. And so that's also included in the EP. But this new stuff you guys have going on, I'm blown away by it. And I'm not just saying it because I know you guys. I'm saying it because I understand the music behind it. You guys are doing some great things. Now, the one that's coming out on it's going to hit the airwaves here real soon, our listeners will have a chance to hear it today before anyone else in the country. And my goodness, and I want to thank you right now for just giving me that opportunity to share that with our listeners here at Sacramento Smooth Jazz. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful track. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to share it with you, but let's talk a little bit about that. And how did the name come up? You know, the name. Here's the thing. Kevin, I think I need to direct that to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, Marco and I have a conversation. Well, here's the thing, Marco. Just in our daily conversation, and it just stuck. And then, we had some other Kevinisms and Markinisms and a few Otoeisms, and we put them on the table, and then that's the one that came out on top. So it wasn't my decision. It was a group decision. We all agreed upon it, and we use it often in our conversation. And like I said, it just stuck, and I'm glad we chose that one. Here's the thing.
With this newest track, Here's the Thing, featuring Chris Camazzi, how did that relationship come to be with respect to this particular track that we're releasing? How did that begin? Tell us about that.
Started working with Kevin, we kind of made a list of, some of the artists that we'd like to work with. His name came up. I saw his name as a featured artist on another song that had come out. And I don't remember how I connected with this artist on social media. And I ended up reaching out to him, and I'm like, hey, man, I've been wanting to work with Chris Camazzi for a long time. Is there a way that we can get connected? He hooked it up. We got the email, and as soon as we got the connection, Kevin took it away. It's been a great relationship.
Absolutely amazing is what I would say on this particular track here, Chris Camazzi. Now listen, I'm speaking with the Smooth Jazz Alley. That's Otoe Mori, Kevin Lewis, Marco Montoya, and they have just finished their newest project. And it's a phenomenal project, a multitude of tracks, and you get to listen to 2 of them tonight, right here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz. It's a world premiere, but I want to know something. You guys all work together, when it comes to, writing the music, but who's more responsible for writing the music? Talk to me about that.
That would be none other than Marco, Matt Godina, and which is usually behind the scenes. All of us are behind the scenes in terms of writing. But this one, we have to give credit to Matt Godina, and Otoe did a little bit of writing on it too, as well. As far as the lead is concerned, Matt came up with all the backing music and whatnot, and we just kind of added to it. Took a few parts here away, put a little parts back in. We got Chris Camazzi to sign on, and when he did, he gave us a couple of ideas and we went with the one that you would hear this evening, and it just worked out great.
Yeah, I agree. Now tell me something here. You know, many people, many artists, they have a specific goal when it comes to their music, I'm feeling. What do you want the people to feel and the message behind the music? What do you want them to get out of this?
With Matt Godina producing the track, you know, he's really on the cutting edge of doing just, you know, that modern contemporary jazz sound. So, I mean, the track was awesome before anything was even on it. And, you know, when Otoe came up with the melody, you know, the hook, I mean, it's just, I worked with a little bit with her on that, but that was really her idea. Chris Camozzi, if you've ever heard his album Slow Burn, he's got an incredible acoustic sound on a top of smooth jazz bed, if you will. And what we loved about this track is slamming. I mean, this track is like really energetic, but it's like his guitar smoothed the whole sound out. And it's exactly what we needed. So we'd love people to pick up on that. Hey, this is a nice contemporary sound we got going on. And Godina threw in some couple of gospel chords there that I absolutely just love. And then, but Chris Camozzi comes in with his guitar and just smooths the whole thing out. I mean, it's just such a nice fusion blend of just different things happening at the same time. But he's got some incredible guitar work on here.
Well, to me, there's a chemistry that's undeniable. And what I want to do now, I'm going to come back. I want to hear from Otoe Mori. Now, I want to do this because, ladies and gentlemen, I've been speaking with the Smooth Jazz Alley, and we've been talking about their newest project and their latest track, Here's the Thing. And I want to just introduce to you, Here's the Thing from the Smooth Jazz Alley featuring Chris Camozzi, right here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz.
Hey, my goodness. That is Here's the Thing from the Smooth Jazz Alley featuring on guitar, Chris Camozzi. And you got to hear it first right here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz. Now, if you just tuned in, listen, and you're just like, hey, I didn't hear all of it. You know, I'm going to actually do you a favor and do myself one, actually. We're going to play it again later on in the broadcast, so you're going to stay tuned for that. I spoken earlier with Kevin Lewis, and I spoke with Marco. Now, you guys, I want to give Otoe. She's the newest member to the group. She's from Japan, but she's not new to the States. She's been at this for a number of decades playing that saxophone. Now, I understand, you guys, that she wrote a part of this, and she wrote the hook on this. Otoe, tell me, what happened? How did you write the hook? What inspired you?
Most of those from my heart, both of my heart. And then I was thinking when my second daughter and I trip to Monterey, suddenly I got the melody into my head. Suddenly it came from somewhere. And then I wrote it down. I shared with my daughter and she said, oh, that sounds nice. So, okay, let me send this track to Marco and Kevin. So that's my story.
You've been playing the saxophone for quite some time. So how long have you been playing now?
30 years.
You've been playing 30 years. That's amazing. So it's obvious you love what you're doing, and you joining up with the Smooth Jazz Alley with Marco and Kevin here has been an absolute blessing. Your involvement with them in this group is phenomenal. Kevin, Marco, tell me, since she's come on board, we've talked about this before. What does it mean to add her to this group, to really just bring you guys to a whole nother level? What are your thoughts on this?
Studio rehearsing, there's a chemistry in there that's undeniable, that's been there from day one. And so there's always been a connection musically. That's a rare thing to find. I mean, I play with a lot of different, bands, just as both Kevin and Otoe have. And it's not, you don't have that chemistry out of the gate, like on the first time you play some music with somebody like we did.
And chemistry is something that you obviously have, all three of you together. And in listening to you play, it's phenomenal. If you just tuned in, I'm having a conversation with the group, the Smooth Jazz Alley, and we are talking about their new project. We're playing some of that here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz right now. Now, before we get into our next surprise, because I understand you guys are going to allow me to play another track from your project. Now, Kevin, I want to hear about your approach when it comes to writing music. It was very interesting when we had a conversation. I want you to share that with our listeners.
Or I picture myself in a perfect setting. I have this thing, it's a gift, just like every other artist. I go many places in my mind without leaving the house, let's just say. That's probably one of my biggest inspirations of how I feel as to what note I want to play. And then I pitch it to my brother and my sister, and they take it away. I play drums, but I have a double-edged sword. And that double-edged sword is being creative and being able to play other instruments without actually knowing what I'm doing. But I make it work, and the two of them can tell you, at least I get my point across, and they understand, and that's part of the chemistry. But that's my inspiration as far as scenic, going places that I'd never been before in my mind, and what that sound might sound like. And that might be a little deep for some of our audience, but there are a few of the audience listening out there who will understand.
No doubt about it. I'm sure everyone understands that chemistry, that talent, that gifting that plays together. And you're doing a phenomenal job. And I'm really pleased that you're allowing for me to showcase your tracks right here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz. Now, as we transition into our next track that you're allowing me to play from your newest project, this one is entitled Party. It features Otoe on the saxophone, but you also have another saxophonist that you called in to really add another element of that instrument. And she is none other than Wakana, and she's out of Japan. And I'm telling you, this one right here reminds me, of course, of the cookout. I'm ready for the card games. I'm ready for a number of things, the family get together, whether it be at the park or the backyard. Talk to me about this and let our listeners know how this came to be.
Pastor Cavassier. That's all I gotta say. Pass the Cavassier. Get the ace. Get the cards out. Get some rummy going. Get some spades going. Get something. Pass the Cavassier and the card table. Get the dominoes out. That's what it's all about. Is having a good time, having a party, passing the food around, and just letting your hair down, if you will. That's what it's all about.
Nice. Now with Otoe, just absolutely having a great time on this track. Otoe, what were your thoughts on this? Because you were having a good time with this.
It was so much fun. Yes. Wakana, she made that melody. It's beautiful. And she has a nice smooth sound. My sound is a little edgy, so you can enjoy two kind of saxophone sounds on it. And maybe mine's a little funky. I don't know. How can I say, Kevin?
Well, we have a little sister, and I like to tell the world, when you see her, you're like, what is she going to do up on that stage? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you who this young lady is. She is the funkiest, smoothest, edgiest saxophonist on the planet. And we're just so proud and over the moon to have her with Smooth Jazz Alley. She is Smooth Jazz Alley. The proof is in the pudding. When you hear it, like I said, pass the Cavassier.
Now, Otoe, I will admit, when I first saw you with them, you are very unassuming. You have this saxophone that's almost as big as you are. But when you start playing, I leaned back in my chair. I'm like, whoa, this right here. And I talked to you, Marco, about this. And Marco, I remember you saying, yeah, we did good, didn't we? I said, yes. So Otoe, kudos to you and kudos to this track that you're on. In fact, let's just do it now. Let's just feature it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, another track on their finished project. You get to hear it first. Here's Party from the Smooth Jazz Alley, right here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz.
Pass the Cavassier. Get the dominoes out, get the cards.
And there you have it. That's Party from the Smooth Jazz Alley. Now, what's going on with that bass line here on Party? Talk to me about that.
I'll tell you what, that is our brother, Kenny Ken Franklin. He's just one of the best bass players out here in the Bay Area. And when we were thinking about, who do we want to get on bass on this track, both of us were like, that's Kenny Ken Franklin. Yeah, no, he is one bad. I can't say that on the radio, but you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. But as we close, I want you to tell the people real quickly the artists that you have. I mean, you have Jeff Ryan, you have Nathan East, you have an assortment. Give us a quick rundown of who you have.
We've got Roberto Vally on that track too, along with world-renowned percussionist Carl Perazzo. And they're all on that one track. It's called the Brisa del Mar, Latin-infused track. But we're just super fortunate and blessed to be able to have all these great artists and talent on our music.
And how can people get in touch with you on social media, websites? What do you got for us?
Well, we're on Facebook. They just have to search for the Smooth Jazz Alley. Instagram, we're a little bit more active on Instagram. Try to hit them all, but there's more traction happening on Instagram. So we're on Instagram. And then there's our website, www.smoothjazzalley.com.
I want to say thank you very much for allowing me to have a world premiere of your music and to share it with our listeners here at Sacramento Smooth Jazz. So I'm so grateful. Our listeners are grateful as well. And so thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Blessings to you and your project.
Hey, thank you, Michael.
So much.
Absolutely.
Awesome to be here.
Thanks for listening to Sacramento Smooth Jazz. To continue listening to Smooth Jazz 24/7, follow Sac Smooth Jazz on social media and listen by going to sacsmoothjazz.fm.